I think like some of the probably the biggest challenge with creating Genius was you have this like it's like a million piece puzzle set because Cootie shot so much footage. You talking 350 hours of mini DV tapes that the editors had to comb through, cut through, and just figure out, okay, how do we paste all this together? So you got all these different pieces to the puzzle, and it was just a matter of, okay, what is the storyline? Where we know where we're starting. Like starting was easy. It was always start with Channel Zero, start with Chicago, and what was going on in the scene. But then you talking, it's this three-part, three-act documentary, and at the end of it, it's like, okay, where are we landed? Like, what is the point of this entire journey? So the toughest part was just really just trying to streamline the storyline and then those gaps of time where Cootie wasn't around. Like, how do we maintain the storyline? How do we make this make sense? And I mean, we just kept finding like the key line that we always loved was crack the code. Like when we got to those moments and it was like kind of stuck, and it was like then we figure it out. It was like, okay, we cracked the code. We didn't, and it became these magical moments. Just kept piecing together. So, but the biggest challenge was that it was just so much. It was just so much footage, and the 350 hours of mini DVs. That was just the mini DVs. That's not counting all the footage he had on hard drives and the terabytes of stuff when he's went into the digital space and started filming Kanye and that with the newer cameras. So it was just a lot of footage, man. Kudos to Cootie Rock. So the previous projects me Cootie and Chike did, from Muhammad Ali, The People's Champ, Martin Luther King, The Legacy of a King, they were all dress rehearsals for Genius. They were that was training camp. Even them doing Benji, even though I wasn't a part of Benji, I was able to watch the process and be around. A Kid from Coney Island, which they directed and is on Netflix. I was able to, watch and see how, the story, developed. And then projects I've done, like I've done stuff with Beyonce for the Black is King promo and different commercials, different things that helped us all be prepared for this moment. I've done thousands of hours of narration and storytelling and writing for narration. So all of that, when it came time for Genius, it all helped. So when it came time for Cootie to narrate the film, not only am I writing, but I'm in the booth with him when he recording. And I'm like, no, say that like this. Okay, that line need to drop here. You drop your tone right here. Go here, go up right here. So it was a lot of not only the writing, but the coaching because of the training I've had and the training they've had and the training the editors have had. So yeah, it just all came together beautifully. It's like we did all these projects, figured out different ways to streamline the story and paint the perfect picture and figure out what message we wanted the audience to pull from it. And for me, like one of the biggest things I learned, even just looking back through the footage and seeing the moments, it was always like don't wait, but if there's not a moment there, like one of the lines in the film that I wrote says, you can get in where you fit in, or you can make room. And that was always our mindset. It's like, okay, people not putting us on, we gonna put ourselves on. People not booking us for a show. I'm a man book my own show. I'm gonna get a venue and we go do a show. We go get the people out. So the same thing with this. One of the biggest lessons I learned was just watching how Cootie moved, because there were different moments where they tried to do the documentary. Like back in 2006, he wanted to do the documentary after Kanye won his Grammys. That was the whole goal was, okay, I saw Hoop Dreams, and the whole point of that was we gonna follow these young guys who have ambitions to make it to the NBA. They didn't make it to the league, but with Kanye, he's like, I'm gonna follow this young cat. And I believe after hearing his music, Cootie was like, I believe he gonna win Grammys. So I'm gonna follow him up to the point of winning Grammys. So then, after getting to that point, it was more to tell, but But just watching how Cootie just moved and believed and didn't get shook when times get hard. Didn't get shook when music licensing was an issue, or when there was moments like, yeah, Kanye wanted the final edit with the cut, and he just always was just balanced, just always balanced, and that balance, it helped us create room. And even early on, like I say, he wanted to do the joint in 2006, and it didn't. Right after he won the Grammys, it didn't happen then. They was trying to do it again in 2014. People were blocking it, and it didn't happen then. So this time, pandemic hit. You like, look, we just gonna raise the money, and we gonna do it on we gonna do it on our own. So got investors, ended up partnering with Time Studios, and just got the ball rolling instead of Kanye. We just gonna move, and we had the time because of the pandemic, everybody being shut down. It was like we had the time, so we got time to go through 300 plus hours of footage and figure out this story, because we ain't doing nothing else except on Zooms and figuring. So just watching Cootie's balance in it all, his patience in it all, being reminded of, if get in where you fit in or make room, like let's make room. Seeing that footage of that old footage of Kanye, because like we all had drive, but Kanye, his drive was next level. It was next level, and just being reminded of those lessons that we learned back then, like don't wait, go. Like the time is now, so go. So that was probably like the biggest lesson and flash reminder through the whole process. It was wild to see Ye post that about the final edit, and let me in the edit room. But we were trying to show him the films for a while now, so it wasn't like we didn't want him to see it and be comfortable with what was going out. Final edit. That's Cootie and Chike. That company is Creative Control, so the final version is definitely going to be whatever they want it to be. But at the same time, we did want him to see it. Part of what we were trying to do was back around his birthday. We wanted to. Cootie had the idea of us all getting together and watching it with him, because he's like, man, it should be the village family should come together and watch this with him, because we knew it could potentially be an emotional moment for him. It's dealing with it's watching footage of Mama West, and we all loved her, and we knew how much he loved her, still loves her, and how much of a best friend she is to him, and we just wanted to be respectful. So, man, let's all get together, but it never worked out. And then we were still, even past June, we were still trying to have that moment of getting with them and letting them see it, but it didn't. That moment didn't happen till, all right, Netflix already got the joints loaded up now, so like we could have did this a few months back, but he had his people watch it. He still hadn't seen it, and they came back with like a handful of notes, and most of the notes that they came with were things that we had already talked about too. So it was like we was kind of on the same page. So it really wasn't nothing major. Of course, it was blown out the water because Kanye posted it, but the little changes that they did ask for, it was like, oh well, we thought about that too. So all right, yeah. So they saying what we saw, boom, 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 make them changes, but he still hadn't seen it himself until Friday at the premiere. So we had a premiere in LA. Netflix did a premiere, which was incredible. Super Bowl weekend, they did this dope installation where they recreated like Channel Zero, like these TVs where you could record yourself, film yourself, and they had like MTV offices set up, and makeshift studios set up. It was just really dope, and we invited Ye out. And this is after last week. I don't know if you saw where he was like, I want Drake to narrate the film. So I don't know if you you saw that. So this is like last minute. I guess Drake saw it and was inspired by it, and like, yo, I hit Ye like, yo, I should narrate it, it was became a thing. But they invited Ye out Friday, and he came through, and everybody said when he came in he was kind of like just kind of like a little tense or whatever. But when he sat down and started watching, they say he just started taking his hood back and kicking back and relaxing. He laughing with everybody else, and it was just this incredible moment, man. It was like God was in the building, man. It was a powerful moment, and ultimately it was what Cootie wanted, which was let's watch it together with the village, and let's all be together. So you know, if it is hard, we got your back. Like the village is here. So it was special, man. And yeah, you got to roll with the punches. And then even after the joint, we on the elevator going to the party, and Kanye said something like, yeah, and Drake wanted to narrate the film. I don't know what he was talking about. I was like, yeah, that's what he was trying to say. Like, Cootie is the perfect one to tell this story. Like, Cootie didn't even want to tell the story. Like, he didn't want to narrate the story because that's just not his lane. Even though he used to do comedy and act and all that, he still didn't want to narrate the film. And we had to talk him into it. Like, yo, it makes sense coming from you. Like, because at one point we talked about maybe there just being text on the screen where you read about what's coming next, or maybe I narrate it, or maybe we get somebody else to narrate it, but it just made sense for Cootie to tell the story. So once we got him to that point and we started flowing with it, it didn't make sense for anybody else to tell this story but Cootie. Not have interviews and all that. Cootie tell this story. Like you were there. We looking at your footage. We looking through your eyes right now. So it just made sense for him to tell it. So for a while we were trying to find the proper ending, the perfect ending, the genius, because the film was ending with Cootie's last time filming Kanye, which was this moment out in Wyoming. And it's just the way it ended, it just left you feeling a certain kind of way. And we didn't want that to be the last feeling that people walked away with. So Cootie's like, all right, man, when it was perfect, Kanye doing Donda. All right, bet. I'm gonna go to Atlanta for the listening session, link up with him, maybe, something we capture there. So he go down and he don't even see Kanye. He there, he in the building, he filming, but he didn't even get a chance to like, what up? None of that. So he filmed what he filmed, but we were like, all right, we'll use that. And then we even talked about, man, why don't you come to Chicago for the Soldier Field joint? And he didn't end up coming, and I got some footage from that, but I didn't see Kanye that time, so it wasn't like I got anything that nobody else got, So then that moment happened, but we started piecing together. We got it beautiful. Like the ending is like beautiful, and then yeah, to see what happened Friday in LA was, I mean, it was divine, man. It was divine to see, like mostly everybody from the beginning was there, and I mean, Love was in the room. Like we opened it up where I introed Cootie and Chike, and then I performed it, Never Let Me Down, and they started the film, and then at some point, like maybe like 10 minutes into the film, Kanye got there, and then after the film, it was like he was scheduled to just dip, but he ended up staying the whole night kicking it. But that moment right after, from Cootie giving his speech, and then Kanye giving his speech, and just hearing him say, man, thank you for not giving up, thank you for believing, man, I love you, Cootie. Like that moment was like you can't write that. Like Cootie and Nashike always say that God writes our films and Jesus directs, because it's these moments that happen that you just you can't write them. It's like you can't make it up. It's just you there. Your instinct has you there. Your gifts, you're using your gifts, but everything just kind of just lines up perfectly. And yeah, I can't wait for people to see it.